This week in HOLLYWOKE, you guys might have been recently hearing some references to some big Hollywood films being mentioned as comparison to what's going on in the Middle East right now. Shocking coincidences. Everybody's getting excited. Let's hear how excited they are on Fox News for bringing up this Top Gun Maverick reference. Oh boy, it's so how thrilling it is. And the timing is just so awesome. Check it out.
What we're looking at here is we're being told this is, I think, anywhere from just shy of 200 to 300 feet in depth. There are all kind of reports out there of 1,000 foot, but I think that's more propaganda. So what you end up doing is if you saw the movie, the latest Top Gun movie, eerily enough, this is that plot kind of coming to fruition in real life. It's not just one bomb. It'll be a bomb after a bomb to get through that penetration.
And just lastly, that's what.
Oh, a bomb after a bomb to get to that penetration. Ooh, it's getting exciting. It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. Oh man, you might unbutton that jacket there. Can someone turn the heat down? I'm starting to get a little sweaty here. Oh, but it's so exciting. I'm so excited right now. So excited.
You're talking about can penetrate up to 200 feet below the surface. And then, of course, we'll see it try and put the second one in there and go down in there. Yeah. Let's bring in David Burke, our Top Gun and former Top Gun instructor, retired U.S. Marine Corps officer. Now, David, I don't know how well we did that, but you know this better than anybody. Talk to us about, questions over whether or not this can successfully be done.
Joey Jones just crushed that explanation. You guys hit the nail on the head. So really well done. This absolutely can be done. There is not a cave in the world deep enough to defend itself against the American military if it needs to hit it. And you described the weapon system and the aircraft and the mating of that exactly right. Now, this is a hard problem to solve, but it is absolutely a solvable problem with this system.
So this ain't no coincidence. Let's just start with that. But also, I just want to, before we dive into that part, I want you guys to understand that these films that are made, they're all coming out of Hollywood. These are all America First films. They all are. So on one hand, they have everybody running around Hollywood like the Robert De Niro's and all the people showing up to these award events that go up on stage and say, fuck Trump, and everyone goes, yeah. What are you so pissed off about? You're all elitists. You're all enjoying your caviar and your red carpets and your unlimited. By the way, you guys don't have to worry about any health care. You guys don't have to worry about making your rent. So we know that the elitist lifestyle in HOLLYWOKE, on one hand, you guys can say fuck Trump. On another hand, you can celebrate movies like Top Gun Maverick, which is exactly a Trump film. It's designed for America first. We're better than our enemy. Faceless enemy. We don't need to even recognize them as a human being. We won't even say the country. It doesn't effing matter. Like Ted Cruz going on Tucker. Tucker says, do you know anything about Iran? Do you know anything? The population, the demographic. I don't fucking know that. I don't care. It's like Top Gun. I don't care. We don't need the face of the enemy because we're America. So that contradiction that's in this town with idolizing the Tom Cruise, and I don't look. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. That's a whole nother star topic. We've covered him, although he got Pharma right back in 2012. That was good, but he's just enough. I mean, whatever. He could have come on that screen too. It didn't need to be an actual Top Gun expert. Tom Cruise would have been just as good coming on the screen just now on Fox and saying, "Well, he did a great job. It was exactly how we trained and we learned because he had to train and learn what he was doing." So there you go. So it all lines up. Hollywood, blockbusters, America First, war films, all your Spielbergs, all your whatever it is, all your Bruckheimers. This is a Bruckheimer film. I'm going to get into the filmmakers of Maverick in a second, but just understand this is this is how they all work. The Saving Private Ryans, everything's America First. Everything is greatest generation ever, whether it's World War II. This ambiguous enemy of 80s when Top Gun 1 came out and the 2020s when Top Gun 2 comes out. It's all connected to America First, getting everybody, and we cover this on the show, everybody on board for war. It's so Michael Moore gets booed when he goes on stage and says no Iraq war in 2003. He's on the same stage De Niro was on when he said fuck Trump and got a standing ovation in the Chinese theater in 2003, 2004. He says no to Iraq, and he gets booed off stage by the same people that go and celebrate Top Gun. Top Gun gets nominations for sound and editing. It got stunt nomination for SAG for stunt work. So they're celebrating this film, cheering Robert De Niro saying fuck Trump. At the same time, Michael Moore can go up there with a documentary about Fahrenheit 9/11 saying that Iraq is a war for oil. Boy, did he not even know how deep he needed. He didn't even go. He barely scratched the surface. By the way, if you go back and see Fahrenheit 9/11, it is so tame. It is so tame. I mean, it's right on, but it's so tame compared to what we know now about 9/11. But same people booing him off. Okay? So now let's look a little closer at how it's not just a coincidence. Top Gun happens to come out. We're doing this. Trump's doing the actual strike, the same strike from the film a year later. Not a coincidence. Mike Benz. Let's hear Mike Benz's take, and then we'll look into what this is about.
Happening right now is unbelievably identical to the plot of Top Gun Maverick. Remember that the whole plot is to use bunker buster bombs using stealth bombers through the mountainous region of a Middle East country in order to blow up its nuclear plant. I thought that was a very strange plot choice because this whole operation to use bunker buster bombs and risk American lives to blow up a nuclear plant in the Middle East was because the nuclear plant represented a direct threat to our allies. The military generals did not even say it was a threat to the United States. So again, the plot is the Pentagon has been tasked to set up a strike force to launch a preemptive strike against this facility to take it out before it becomes fully operational. So this is without a war being declared. This is presumably without this country having launched an attack.
The plant sits in an underground bunker at the end of this valley.
That is where the Fordow nuclear enrichment site is, in the mountainous region just north of Iran's capital. You will notice it's the same setup with these same valleys and slopes in a giant mountain range.
As you know, the plant rests between two mountains.
You'll notice the Fordow fuel enrichment plant also is sandwiched between two mountains. This is a very, very strange movie because the whole setup is that this entire operation, risking American lives, is gauged as not being for U.S. interests, but all because the nuclear plant represented a direct threat to allies in the region, which is clearly a reference to Israel, and this is clearly a reference to the Fordow nuclear enrichment plan. This had been considered a threat since 2009 when Iran announced that that plant was building a nuclear enrichment facility. This is a very strange way to sell things to Americans. Even I, as a pro-Israel person, found this to be a kind of troubling thing in 2022, and it seems strange that nobody was talking about this plot, and for this plot to literally come back 3 years later and be playing out in real time, I think is fascinating, slightly disturbing, and my hope is that peace can be reached quickly on this. Security can be ensured, a deal can be struck, and the division of the coalition can be avoided.
So this is more propaganda coming from Mike Benz. He's claiming that he's concerned about this, but as a self-proclaimed Zionist, well, he says Israel supporter, but we all know he's a Zionist. He's concerned, but not really being clear about what he's concerned about. Is he concerned that it's just too much of a coincidence? It feels too weird. But he's not getting into that part. He's just saying, I just hope peace can be made. In other words, he's championing war. This is a war post that he did, referencing the film, saying nobody was talking about it then, but they're talking about it now. So 100% war peace. Let's actually get somebody who did a little more deep dive on what's actually happened here with the film, where it was done. This is done on purpose. This is called manufacturing consent. This isn't about, oh, we have to show the good guys in Israel the reference, and oh, that's this nuclear thing. The nuclear facility is going to destroy our allies, and our allies are where the good guys, and where the Tom Cruise is, and we're cheering for Tom Cruise. We're cheering for Tom Cruise, and the other guy, the Goose's son, Miles Teller. We're cheering for them. The redemption story with them because Tom Cruise is responsible for his dad's death, or there's some unresolved tension there, but they're gonna save the world together. This is Trump. This is Trump mind. This is what everybody cheered on. He's saying, I'm concerned. What are you concerned about? You're one of them. You believe in this stuff. You just don't like the fact that it was so obviously put out there. Or do you? Let's see. Sam Parker says Mike Benz, known Jewish infiltration agent, reveals that Iran situation is playing out just like Top Gun Maverick. Uncanny how the movie makers could have seen this coming. I wonder if it was one of the 3 Jewish producers or one of the 2 Jewish screenwriters paging Aaron Michelin. Let's look closer. Well, here we go. Screenplay, Eric Warren Singer. Story, Justin Marks. You get the little star David sign there. That's just to show you who they are. Produced by, there's Jerry Bruckheimer, David Elson. Let's look at the producing team themselves. There he is. There's Jerry Bruckheimer, German Jewish immigrants. He's the son of Jewish German immigrants. He's obviously producer of very big blockbuster films, all America first, all Israel first films. Very well produced, makes a lot of money on these type of blockbuster films. There's his producer partner, David Elson, Italian and Jewish heritage of his father. Okay, good to know. Not that it matters. Who cares, right? And then this is the CEO of Paramount Pictures, Paramount, who releases the Top Gun franchise since the 80s. Brian Robbins. And we know why Top Gun 1 came out. That was to get everybody on board for all of our Middle East happenings in the 80s and Iran-Contra and playing Iran and Iraq on each other and setting the stage for the Persian Gulf War in 1991 with George Sr. All of those happenings. That's what Top Gun 1 was about. Then we got hey, Tom Cruise, we need you back. We need to do it again. The faceless enemy in the Middle East. We need to get everybody on board. Everybody on board. Adam Media, Assange. Hollywood script writers who say they are Jewish have been planting the mental seeds for war with Iran for years, including in Top Gun Maverick, Homeland 24, and in the DreamWorks film on Julian Assange, The Fifth Estate. And this is just a short list, but thanks for bringing up the TV series too, because those are just as annoyingly useful for them to do that. Homeland, I always had a problem with Homeland. I always thought there was something so bizarre. It's the same old shit. We're going to make you think that we have a problem inside Homeland Security, but the problem is it's always an individual problem. It's always Claire Danes with her mental illness issue she's got to deal with and take her drugs, and if she doesn't take her drugs, she can't do her job. And there might be a there might be a plant from the enemy inside, but never does Homeland or 24 ever suggest it's more than a plant or somebody that's trying to infiltrate from the outside, from the bad brown people, foreign people. We won't even say what country it is. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. They're all a bunch of Arab, interchangeable brown people, scary brown people. But the infiltration's coming from them, and that's why we're having dysfunction inside our industry. Our agency is having dysfunction, not because the agency is an evil agency that works against the American people. The agency's having bad functionality because it's been infiltrated from brown people on the outside. That's why. And our lead character has personal issues they have to tend to, so we're rooting for them. Work out your issues. Work out your issues, Claire Danes. You can do it. Get back to work. They need you. They're dealing with so much. The Homeland Security team, oh my God. But they're working on behalf of the American people. That's the point. That's the point. There he is. Mr. Cruz himself. Why don't they just put him on Fox News? Why do they even have, he could do just as well, saying, you guys nailed it. You did the thing. You did the thing. Way to sell everyone. Way to sell everyone on this yet another regime change war that everybody is against, but you're going to pretend that we're for it because you're going to trick us into, it's called manufactured public consent for more war. They've been doing this to us our whole lives. And Hollywood is a place where they can really do damage to us because we don't even see it coming, because we love Tom Cruise and we love all the fighter jets, and we'll go back for more. We'll go back for Top Gun 3. We'll celebrate some more at the Academy Awards, or, you know, get a sound design nomination because it's not going to get acting nomination. And then Robert De Niro can go back up on stage and say, fuck Trump again. And we'll go, while we're literally cheering on the character that is Trump, the character of the greatest military in the world. We're so precise. They carried out the mission. They did such a good job. No one in the world could have done as great of a job as America military just did. They just proved the world wrong. We're the greatest military in the world, greatest Top Gun experience ever. You might as well just call it the operation instead of 12 days war. Trump, why didn't you just call the operation Top Gun 3 and packaged it like that? Top Gun 3. Watch it now, streaming now on Paramount Plus. Okay, that is This Week in Hollywood.